Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here, and of course today we are going to be talking a little bit about Tesla stock, a really nice performance to close out the week. We've also got new inflation data. The core PCE has been released. Got an update from Kimbal Musk. We'll talk a little bit more about the electric vehicle tax credits, and we've got a few other items as well. So starting off with the stock, a really nice way to close the week this week. Tesla up 5.8%, closing at $891.45. Feels like just a month ago we were in the 600s, and I actually think that was the case. We've seen a really sharp rise here, but Tesla outperforming significantly today. The Nasdaq was up 1.9%. Over the last month, though, you can see the S&P 500, the Nasdaq have both had their biggest monthly gains since 2020, so a couple of years, and Tesla has fully partaken in that rise, finishing up 33% for the month of July as we head into, I think Monday is heading into August, but if not, either way, a really strong performance for the month of July here with Tesla up 33%, compared to the Nasdaq up 12.5% or so. So even outperforming Tesla's normal beta that we would see for the entire month, which obviously has been aided by Tesla's earnings report and a few other items that we've been talking about through the month. But really, really nice to see some recovery here. It's I think been a long time coming here. Kind of feels like the days of old with Tesla. So kind of fun to get some of that. We've got some comments from Elon that I think probably supported that a little bit today, but I think a lot of this is just Tesla kind of wanting to run a little bit. All right, so we did get the new personal consumption expenditures report this morning for June. So this is a little bit, lagging data as we usually talk about with these reports. But for June, we did see core PCE. So again, excluding, the volatile food and energy prices, as they like to say, excluding those, PCE did rise 4.8% year over year. So although we had been seeing quite the downtrend recently in core PCE, it did tick up from June from where it was in May. So that was a little bit higher than expectations, about 0.1% or 10 basis points in that ballpark ahead of expectations. And it is not necessarily concerning, but a little bit disappointing to see that tick back up. Although again, lagging data here, and we did see a lot of prices, energy-related things and others coming down in July is what it has seemed. So we should get the next CPI report for July probably in 2 weeks or a week and a half or so. So that'll be more interesting data than this, but still, a little bit above what I think the markets would have hoped to see, although choosing to kind of ignore that for the day. All right, so from Elon on inflation, he's got a different point of view than what we're seeing there. He says inflation might be trending down, and then adds that more Tesla commodity prices are trending down than up for what it's worth. So again, a little bit more recent data here. Elon's got visibility into so many different things with the data set that Tesla has, the suppliers that they are connected to. So really, this is a very important comment and a very exciting comment. Probably, had a strong part in the market's movement today, I would say, because of how many things that Elon is tied into and the visibility that he has. So very positive to see that. We heard Zach Kirkhorn on the Q2 call talk about how, although Tesla does believe that some of these prices will trend up in Q3 from where they were in Q2, some of that being due to contract structures and the lag and all of those things makes it a little bit difficult to read. But he had said that increase in Q3 would be lower than what it was in Q2. That was their expectation. So a couple of positive signs here from Tesla alongside, we now are finishing this huge week of earnings in tech, which has come with a lot of not necessarily even positive, but not the earth is falling apart type of comments from these companies. So, a lot more positivity in the market. And I think we're seeing that obviously reflected in share prices. We've also got some positive commentary from Kimbal Musk. So of course, Elon's brother, Tesla board member. This was a couple of days ago, but we're just now getting a chance to talk about this. Kimbal did exercise some of his options. So 25,000 shares. And although usually when you exercise that many options, you are going to sell off some to help cover the taxes that are involved with that exercise, Kimbal has, in this case, chosen to just keep all of that stock and pay the taxes associated with this presumably from other funds. So you could take that as a bullish sign. Insider activity, everyone's kind of got different points of view on that. But if the filing wasn't clear enough, Kimbal here on Twitter saying that Tesla is just getting started. I can't wait for the next decade of awesome from my brother and his amazing team, which Kimbal would be a part of that since he is on the board, but very, encouraging to see that. We have seen Kimbal sell at times in the past. I think towards the end of 2021. So a little bit different activity here from him. So it's good to see. All right, next here, we've got kind of a, if you're watching on video here, you can see this, we've got kind of an unusual little graphic here. This is from Munro Live this afternoon. They tweeted out that their firstborn 4680 cell is here, arrived at 3:30 p.m. today after 4 weeks of labor, weighing in at 355 grams, measuring 80 millimeters long. So strong post there from Munro Live. But they have finally managed to secure one of the battery cells out of that, intensely packed pink foam. So we should be getting a lot more information from them soon, now that they seem to have figured out how to get that done. So more to come on that. Munro also did have a video today that just kind of covered the evolution in Tesla's bodies over the last few years since they got their first Model 3, now to their most recent Model Y. Just looking at how the process evolved from all of these different stamped parts, a lot of wasted weight, a lot of wasted volume, now to the single piece castings, both in the rear and the front. It's all stuff that we know about and have talked about as that process has gone by over the years, but just a nice little 15-minute video from Munro, and Sandy was really fired up in it, and it's just kind of exciting to hear him be excited about what Tesla has accomplished in those regards. So I definitely recommend watching that, but again, nothing in there that we haven't really talked about many times over, just put into a nice little condensed format. We've also got an update here from Elon on FSD Beta 10.13. Of course, Elon had said hopefully this would be last week, then said hopefully this week. Looks like that is not quite the case yet. Responding here to Dirty Tesla, saying that they're working super hard on 10.13, but not quite ready yet. So no new timetable on that. We know Chuck Cook has seen some Tesla testers out testing out his infamous left turn. So it does still appear like Tesla is, trying to work through some things on that and really nail that before releasing 10.13 beyond just the internal release. Also got an update here from Giga Shanghai from Wuwa. This is not from the factory, but rather from the ports. So you may remember when we had Giga Shanghai, the brief period of shutdown, there were still a lot of cars at the port. Those all got cleared out. And now we can see after that clearing, a lot more cars back here at the port waiting to be exported. I think there have been counts of like 4,000 or 6,000 vehicles, it's really only a couple of days of production, like 2 or 3 days of production. And I think when you see it in this way, it really puts that into context, like what Tesla is really accomplishing with the type of numbers that they're putting out each day. When you can fill up a lot like this in 48 hours worth of production, it's just really, really crazy. So good to see those back in stock, but totally makes sense, with the rates of production that Tesla is getting to now, especially at Shanghai. All right, next I want to talk a little bit more about the EV tax credit. Obviously, we talked a lot about this yesterday. That was mostly going through, the structure of it. A couple more thoughts today, since I didn't share quite as many of my opinions, but I think I've made it clear in the past. It's disappointing to see the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle credits in there. There's just not a lot of justification for it in my mind. Like, you're allowing these vehicles that have only 7 kilowatt hour batteries that, maybe that battery pack costs $1,000 to get these credits for $7,500 a piece. And then consumers, they're going to get maybe 20, 30 miles of range out of those size of batteries. And a lot of people are just going to be buying this for the credit, not really caring to plug it in every night. Even if they do, that might not, get them there and back even for their commute. So what data has shown, and a lot of people, always ask like why I'm not really supportive of plug-in hybrids. Just to be clear, yes, if you use them correctly, in certain circumstances, they can be beneficial. But unfortunately, just the real world data does not show that is what happens. So what you end up doing is lugging along a lot of extra weight in batteries that could be put to use for actually fully electric vehicles, end up sitting in these plug-in hybrid vehicles that don't end up being used. Emissions for them end up being higher because of that extra weight. You've got 2 different powertrains in there. It's just a lot of efficiencies all around. And it's a crutch, right? It stops progress on fully electric vehicles. They're very different things. It's not like, they start making plug-in hybrids and that's eventually a road to fully electric vehicles. It's really not that way. They're very different. As we have seen from Tesla, building from the ground up for a fully electric design is really the best way to make it happen. So any effort towards plug-in hybrids is just going to be, effort that doesn't go towards those more sustainable end state type of goals that we should be working towards. So Anyway, today I wrote a letter to, my members of Congress, and I would encourage, if you feel similarly to me, just go ahead and adopt this template, make whatever changes you want, and, be active here, because things like this can make changes. Not that they're going to cut this completely, but even if it ends up, changing the incentive structure here a little bit to something that's a little bit more logical and hopefully incentivizes better behavior from the automotive industry collectively. I don't even care about how all this affects Tesla. This is just as a concerned citizen, of the United States wanting to have something that has some semblance of sense to it. In general, I don't think that most of the structure of this credit system is needed. Like, electric vehicles are highly in demand. I think what they're doing is kind of trying to support the legacy automotive industry, support domestic manufacturing of batteries, which I do think that makes sense, but it's just kind of like a ham-handed way to go about doing those things. So anyway, I don't want to stand on a soapbox too long for this, but if you feel like doing that, I would definitely encourage people to do that. It doesn't take a long time, especially when most of the data is already there. So get involved, make a difference. It can happen. There's also a change.org petition. If you feel like signing that, I think we've, hopefully after this episode, we'll be above 1,000. So honestly, it takes like 5 seconds. And we've already seen things like this make a difference, particularly with that, Missy Cummings NHTSA situation. So, yeah, please take a second. I spent a lot of time working on this today, so I'd appreciate, any support on those things. All right, next couple of things, just really quick updates here to kind of close it out. Tesla has now finally launched cloud profiles. So not a Tesla app here reporting this. In update 2022.24, which very intuitively puts some of the features associated with your driver profile into your Tesla account, can be accessed online. So this has been coming for a long time. Elon has talked about this, but looks like it's now finally starting to roll out, which is really exciting to see. Next, we've got an update on Hawaii. We've also talked about this before, but with the greater adoption of renewables and energy storage in Hawaii, they have now finally received their last shipment of coal as a power source for the Hawaiian Islands, which, it's a milestone event, I think a long time coming, and, very, very exciting to see that. So I just wanted to pass that along. And then a couple other items here. We do have a date for the trial for Elon Musk and Twitter. We had previously heard that would be in October. It's going to now be on October 17th, which, as I pull up my calendar here, October 17th, that looks like probably the week of Q3 earnings. So of course, Tesla's earnings might be a week later, but my guess is they'll be on the 19th or so, it looks like. So we're probably going to have this going on right in the middle of Tesla's earnings report. Maybe that would cause Tesla to change their calendar there a little bit, but that'll certainly make for a very active week there in a couple of months. And then lastly, today, we've previously talked about how Rivian was speculated to be reducing their workforce, doing some layoffs. That has now been confirmed, a leaked email confirming this. CNN Business covering it here. Looks like they're laying off 840 employees or so out of 14,000, so about 6%. All right, so that is really all the news that we have for today. I don't want to, close on the layoff news, but again, just take some time. Hopefully, sign that petition. See what we're at now. Hopefully, getting close to that 1,000 mark on the petition. Looks like we've got just a handful to go on that. So I do appreciate that. But otherwise, thank you for listening. Make sure you are subscribed and signed up for notifications. You can also find me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast. And we'll see you on Monday for, let's see if I got the right date on that. Yeah, the August 1st episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.